What's up, guys? Luna Wolf MXS here. I wanted to do a video today about the cool interactions I had with police. So to set you up, maybe tomorrow or later today I'll do a video about the negative reactions or the negative encounters I've had with police, which I have had more negative encounters with police than I have had positive. And I'm talking about like illegal search and seizure, cops covering up things other cops did to me. I've been through all that. And some of that I went through while in the Air Force, which I'm still currently in, which is crazy. After I would show people my military ID, like cops, they still just didn't care and they still violated my rights, which that's another video. Today, I'm going to talk about the cool interactions I've had with the police. So me and my buddies grew up. I'll tell you about one interaction that was awesome. Me and my buddies grew up during the Fast and Furious phase. We had little street cars. You know, I had a Honda Civic with rims and all that on it. And it was cool looking. It was not a fast car whatsoever. It didn't have any engine modifications. It was a super slow car, but it looked really cool. I was always into paint and body, so I could do all that stuff for free. So I made the car look really cool with the body kit and the rims, lowered it, all that stuff. So we used to do this thing called the cruise, where we would all gather in one parking lot in Birmingham, and everybody would show off their cars and stuff they've done, and we would talk, and we had a lot of fun doing that. But we would get harassed by police constantly, which we were on public property, because a lot of times we would do it in abandoned parking lots, or we would go to fast food restaurants and we would sit in the parking lot furthest away from the restaurant. We would go to a Walmart after it closed, and we would sit in the furthest parking lot away from Walmart. And those were where we gathered and congregated and had fun. And the club that I was the president of, we had rules, like you could do burnouts and stuff, but you could not do reckless driving. You couldn't drink. Like back then, I really didn't drink that much. Now I have a beer mostly every day, but back then I didn't drink that much. So you couldn't drink while we were doing the cruise. You couldn't do drugs. We had rules for people in our club, but there would be people that would show up who would cause problems or just be crazy because they weren't part of our club. But so the cool police encounter, that was a really long way to get to this. The cool police encounter I had was we had these two cops. One, they were both cops in the local area. One had a Ford Lightning, which back then was probably the coolest production truck you could get. The Ford Lightning was awesome. The other one had like I can't remember if it was a Camaro or a Mustang. He had a really cool sports car, muscle car. And they would come hang out with us. And we knew they were cops because they told us. They're like, yeah, we're cops, but we'll come hang out. And they would come hang out with us. When they were on patrol, they were partners. So they would just about always be in the same police vehicle. And they would come in their police vehicle and hang out with us waiting on a call. Like that was how they justified hanging out with us. They were like, we're going to chill here and wait on a call. And that way, it looks like we're doing, which they kind of were, doing community, where they're getting to know the community. And when they hung out with us, the crazy people didn't show up. So it was just mostly the club members who followed the rules anyways, to a certain extent. But, yeah, they would come hang out with us. It was awesome. There were times when they showed up to discipline us, to be like, guys, we know you're street racing, because we were on this major highway. This was like a 6-lane highway, very busy traffic highway, a lot of retail stores and stuff around. And they would show up and be like, guys, I know y'all are street racing on the highway. Y'all got to quit that. If y'all don't quit that, we're going to have to run you off. And we would comply. We'd be like, yeah, y'all been cool with us. Y'all been nice. We know who you are. We'll quit, or we would move. We'd be like, we'll go ahead and move downtown or something or whatever. But there was one time they showed up in their police car and did a burnout, and some guy we didn't know filmed it. This is around the time phones with cameras started showing up, so there weren't many. It was not a known thing. Like if you had a phone I want to say there was no such thing as smartphones. They might have been just creeping into the market, but you could still, like, a guy had a camcorder. Camcorders were still popular, big handheld camcorder, and he filmed the cops doing a burnout. They didn't know it till they were pulling off and saw the camcorder, and they came back and said, hey, we will get in a lot of trouble if that video of us doing a burnout in our squad car, if that gets out. So we went, this guy was not part of us. He was not part of Noise Pollution Customs, the car club we were in. We went and found that dude and said, you have to delete that video. The guy's like, no, I don't want to. That was cool. And we're like, nope. Like, either you delete that video, or if we see you around here again, there's going to be huge issues. And he was like, okay. And we showed the cops, look, he deleted the video. And they're like, cool, fist bump, appreciate it, because, you know, we're trying to be cool with you guys. And we completely understood. We were like, yes, y'all have been so cool with us. You know, we're not trying to do nothing crazy with y'all. But that was one really good cop encounter I had. Another one, 2 times, the only 2 times I've ever been pulled over and not issued a ticket for something they could have issued me a ticket for. The first time was I was coming across an intersection. It's same highway, basically, I was talking about earlier, but it was a 6-lane intersection. I was cutting across the highway. The traffic light was green. It turned yellow once I got in the first lane of traffic, and it turned red when I was in the middle of the intersection, which you cannot stop there. It's made for, like, police only. So I was going through that, and the light turned red in the middle. Cop saw me, pulled me over, and he said, the only way I got out of the ticket, he said, are you in the Air Force? Because I had an Air Force tag on my truck. And I said, yeah, I'm in the Air Force. He said, all right, man, you got to pay attention to the traffic lights. Be safe. See you later. Awesome. The second time I was working night shift, I got off work at 1 a.m. I'd been sitting at a traffic light. I was still in uniform. I'd been sitting at a traffic light for probably 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, which is a long time if you know what I'm talking about, to be sitting at a traffic light. This cop, I don't know where he was, but I went ahead. There was no traffic. It's 1 in the morning. I was like, I'm just going to turn left. So I turned left, going towards my house. Boop, lights. The cop come up, opened my door. He like knocked on, he did, actually he came to the right side of the car. I had my left window down thinking he would come to the left side. He come over to the right side of the car, knocked on the window, so I opened the door. He saw me in uniform and said, man, what are you doing out this late? And I said, I work night shift. He was like, you just blew through a red light back there. I was like, yeah, my bad. I'd been sitting there a while. And he was like, hey, man, just be safe. See you later. And I'm trying to think, that is 3 times that cops have been cool with me. I can't think of any other than I have a friend that's in the police department. And one night, I hadn't even drank. I had 2 beers in my fridge. I got off work. I drank my 2 beers. I got in my truck, drove to the gas station. My buddy was there. I said, what's up to my buddy? He's a police officer. He was in uniform. I said, what's up, man? Shook his hand. Good to see you. Went in the store, come back out with more beer because I only had 2 beers in my house. And he said, hey, I can smell alcohol in your breath. You need to go home and you don't need to be driving around. I wasn't drunk by any stretch of the imagination, but I was like, yeah, 100%. That was probably the 4th time a cop was cool with me. But he was a friend of mine from high school. We knew each other. That's the 4 times cops have been cool with us. There was a 5th time where a cop drove up. He ran us off, but he was like, you know, he was cool. He's like, I get it. Y'all need somewhere to hang out, but you can't hang out here. Get out of here. So I guess that really wasn't a cool time, but like with a cop being cool with me. But I mean, that's the next video I think I'm going to do is cops. I have had so many interactions with the police just based on the neighborhood I grew up in. It just unwarranted. Most of the time on my private property. I'm not aggressive with the police. I do anything they ask me to. Hey, yes sir, no sir. What was that noise? That was a weird noise. Anyways, that video will come next. The multiple negative interactions I've had with police. But I figured I'd do a positive video today. Be like, hey, these are the times cops were cool with me. But anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Check me out, SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter. Like always, share me on the streets.